Hi friends, my name is Amit Hapalia and I'm going to cover the topic of deemed dividend today. As we know, the benefits which are tendered by a company to the shareholders are known as dividend. Now, the benefits which are given by a company to the shareholders are known as are either in the form of bonus or dividends. Now, dividends, we are just going to talk about dividend today. Dividends are of two types, final as well as interim. Interim dividend is the one which is declared by the company in the mid of the year. Now, whenever a company declares interim dividend, it is compulsory for the company to pay it upfront. And then there is final dividend, which is declared, or you can say, which is declared at the end of the year and shown at the annual general meeting. And later on a certain date, it is then paid to the shareholders. Now, the other benefits other than dividends, the company may give the company may give other benefits to the shareholders in other ways. Now, this may not be upfront in form of a normal dividend, that is interim or final, and that is why it is covered under these 5 sections, 222A, B, C, D, E, and it is known as deemed dividend. Now we will be covering each and every section differently along with examples, and so as to enable the students to understand it in a very simple way, because of lately this is one concept which is asked recurringly in CA final and IPCC exams. So let's start with 222A. Now there may be times at which the company may just distribute the profits to the shareholders in some or the other way. Now let's just take an example. Suppose there is a director, Mr. A, and he's renting out his godown to the company. Okay. So now when a director rents out the godown to a company, the director will claim what? Will take rent from the company. Now suppose we say the rent is rupees 90,000 per month. And the director asks the company that give me an advance of 100 lakhs for construction of 2 more floors on the godown. Now in this case, obviously it is obvious that this 100 lakh is nothing but the advance rent given by the company to the director. But as per section 222A, even such a benefit which is given by a company to a shareholder will amount to deemed dividend. So in other words, 222A is distribution by a company of assets to shareholder. In our example, the asset is the 100 lakh rupees which the company will give the director for construction of additional 2 floors, to be considered as deemed dividend in the hands of the shareholder. So this 100 lakh will be taxed under IFOS in hands of the director. Okay, so irrespective of the fact that this 100 lakh is to be adjusted in the future against the rental expenditure, we still consider it as a taxable income in hands of the director. Now, all these provisions, all the 5 sections which we talked about, they are limited to the extent of accumulated profits of the company. By accumulated profits, we mean the general reserve of the company, or you can say the profit and loss credit balance. So let's understand this concept with an example in the next slide. So suppose a suppose a CHC means a closely held company which has a reserves of 1 lakh rupees, is transferring asset worth 1.5 lakhs, that is fair market value 1.5 lakh, to a shareholder. Now, as we saw in the previous slide, the taxability in hands of the shareholder will be to the extent of the accumulated profit of the company. In our case, accumulated profit of the company is only 1 lakh. So, even if the company is transferring asset worth 1.5 lakhs, taxability is only 1 lakh and not 1.5 lakhs. So, the shareholder will be taxed for 1 lakh rupees under section 222A as a deemed dividend in the head income from other sources. Now, another 2 sections which also come into play is section 1034 and 115O. Now, 115O says that dividend distribution tax is to be paid on this 1 lakh rupees by the company. So obviously, if the company is going to pay DDT on this deemed dividend, then the shareholder shall be exempt. Now this exemption is stated by section 1034. So then we say section 222A read with 1034. That means in the hands of the shareholder, 1 lakh shall be considered as deemed dividend. But because the company pays DDT under section 115O, the shareholder is exempt under section 1034. Also, one thing to notice, the dividend distribution tax is only applicable to an Indian company and the rate is 16.995%. Okay, so the next section we are about to do is 222B, distribution of abnormal bonus to the shareholders. Now, by abnormal bonus, we mean debentures, debenture stock or deposit certificates with or without interest. So, 222B is distribution of debentures etc. to shareholders which amounts to deemed dividend in the hands of the shareholder, again to the extent of accumulated profits of the company. Now, these are the three types of, these are the three ways in which abnormal or normal bonus can be declared and given to the shareholders. Now, the first case is when a company gives debentures, debenture stock or deposit certificate to the shareholders. Now, here we are talking about all the shareholders, equity shareholders as well as preference shareholders. Now, this amounts to abnormal bonus. So, this means if a company gives debenture stock or deposit certificate to either of the shareholders, then in the hands of the shareholder, taxability will be levied under section 222B. Second is companies giving bonus shares to preference shareholders. This is also an abnormal bonus. Again, 222B will be levied. Last is, which is very common, company giving bonus shares to equity shareholder. Now this is a normal bonus. So this is exempt in the hands of the equity shareholders. For the same reason which we know is that the company has to pay dividend distribution tax under section 115O. Alright. So I will further describe this with an example in the next slide. Or you can just shift. So, a company which has equity as well as preference shareholders is allotting bonus at the rate of 1:1, bonus equity shares. Now, bonus by equity shareholders and bonus by preference shareholders. So, the bonus which is received by the equity shareholders is a normal bonus. So, then 222A is not applicable here. 222B is not applicable here. Bonus received by the preference shareholder will be taxable under section 222B. Now again, as we did in 222A, the company has to pay dividend distribution tax on such a deemed dividend. Okay, so in the hands of the preference shareholders, in this example, the shareholder will be taxable for this amount under section 222B, subject to the provision of 1034 and 115O. That is, the company will pay deemed dividend distribution tax under 115O and such a deemed dividend shall be exempt for the shareholder under section 1034. So we shall understand section 222C with help of an example. Now, X Limited balance sheet is given. Now X Limited is a company which is going into liquidation. Equity share capital is 60,000 shares at the rate of 6 lakh. Reserves are 2 lakh. Land is 5.5 lakh and cash is 2.5 lakh. Now Mr. A is a 10% shareholder of X Limited. In the year 4-5, he purchased 6,000 shares. So 10% is 60,000 into 10%, 6,000 shares for rupees 21,000. So that for him it is the cost of the share. Now X Limited is getting liquidated in the year 14-15. So, like we discussed in the earlier slide, two sections come into play with section 222C, that is 46.1 and 46.2. These are sections under the head income from capital gains. Now 46.1 says that from the company's point of view, company shall not be taxed when it gets liquidated. 46.2 states the shareholder's point of view, that is how the shareholder shall be taxed. Taxable as follows. Now suppose on liquidation, the shareholder will have to surrender his share. So because he will surrender the share, to the extent of the company's liability, the shareholder will receive certain assets. In this example, suppose the shareholder receives cash worth 25,000 and land worth 35,000. Total sum ups to 60,000. Now, out of 60,000, whatever is the shareholder's share in the general reserve of the company, that is 2 lakh into 10%. 10% of 2 lakh, that is 20,000. So 20,000 for him will be deemed dividend under section 222C and it shall be taxed under IFOS. Again here section 115O and 1034 will be applicable. Means the company will pay dividend distribution tax on 20,000 and therefore the shareholder will be exempted for this 20,000 under section 1034. The balance amount of 40,000 he will take as FEOC under income from capital gains, and his cost 21,000 will be deducted subject to indexation, and the balance he will be taxed as long-term or short-term capital gain respectively. Okay, so next is section 222D, distribution of assets on reduction of share capital. That is deemed dividend for the shareholders. Now, the same concept is to the extent of, the taxability is to the extent of accumulated profits of the company. Now, I will explain this with the help of a simple example. Suppose there is a company X Limited. The balance sheet shows this. The balance sheet of X Limited, equity share capital is 6 lakh. There is 60,000 shares at the rate of 10. Reserves are 2 lakh. Land and cash, and it tallies at 8 lakhs. Now, suppose a company wants to reduce one share of 10 rupees to 4. It means that it shall give back rupees 6 to the shareholders. Now, there were, if you recall, 60,000 shares. So, 60,000 into 6 is 3,60,000. It shall return rupees 6 to shareholders. That is 60,000 shares into rupees 6. 3,60,000 it shall return. Now, as we know, this shall be taxable in the hands of the shareholder to the extent of the accumulated profits. So, the profits, the reserves of the companies are 2 lakh. So, out of 3,60,000, 2 lakh shall be taxable in the hands of the shareholders at the under the section 222D. This is to the extent of the general reserve of the company. Again 1034 and 115O shall be applicable. That means 222D, that is 2 lakh shall be taxable in the hands of the shareholder under section 222D, but the company is required to pay dividend distribution tax under section 115O, and for that reason in the hands of the shareholder under 1034 this deemed dividend shall be exempt. The balance amount, that is 1,60,000, this shall be taxable in the hands of the shareholder as under the head capital gain under section 45. Also, one more thing to notice is, as against reduction of shares, there is also another concept known as buyback of shares. Buyback of share does not come under the purview of deemed dividend, and therefore buyback, whenever a company buybacks its own shares, the shareholders will be taxable under the head capital gains. We are starting with section 222E. That is loans and advances given by a private company, that is a closely held company, to the shareholders. Now, the basic concept of this section is that a company is giving a loan to a shareholder, and when the shareholder receives the loan, he will be taxed under section 222E under the head income from other sources. Now, obviously, there are various ways in which this can be evaded. As a shareholder, suppose the shareholder of X Limited, that is a closely held company, he owes some money to Mr. Y. So, instead of he directly taking the loan from the company, he may ask the company that, okay, instead of me, you just pay the loan to my friend Mr. Y, to whom I owe some money. Now, obviously, this used to work before, but after the respective amendment, now, even if the company gives a loan to Mr. Y, X shall be taxed for the same amount. So, our first case is when X Limited, that is a private company, gives a loan to Mr. X, that is the shareholder. Okay. Now he owes some money to Mr. Y, and the company is giving a loan to Mr. Y. That is the second case. Now in this case also, Mr. X, that is the shareholder, shall be taxed. So we had case 1 where the company is directly giving a loan to Mr. X, that is the shareholder. Then we had case 2 that the company is giving loan indirectly to Mr. X, that is he is giving a loan to someone to whom Mr. X owes money, that is Mr. Y. In this case also the shareholder shall be taxed. The third case can be, now suppose shareholder Mr. X is having a substantial interest, SI substantial interest in a concern which is great. Now the next case is when a company is giving loan to any concern. Now suppose the shareholder has substantial interest in any concern that is greater than equal to 20%. So we take any concern, suppose there is a partnership firm Messrs ABC and Company, and the shareholder Mr. X is a 25% partner in the partnership firm. So we can say that the shareholder has substantial interest in the partnership firm ABC and Company. Now the same case what happened with Mr. Y can happen here also. So the company X Limited gives a loan to partnership firm ABC and Company. Okay. So in this case, the concern shall be taxed. So this is Messrs ABC shall be taxed for the amount of loan taken from it. Now this happens because the shareholder was holding substantial interest in Messrs ABC and Company. Now, one very important point, for all these three cases to happen, the shareholder has to hold greater than equal to 10% voting rights in X Limited. So that is the first and foremost condition. So what we understood is the company can either give loan to the shareholder or to his creditor or to any other concern in which the shareholder holds substantial interest. Pertaining to, or you can say this will happen only when the shareholder holds greater than equal to 10% voting rights in this private company. Now, one very important thing to understand is this 20% and this 10%. Both has to happen together. That is, suppose I hold 10% shareholding in X Limited, but I hold only 19% shareholding in ABC and Company. Then, when X Limited gives a loan to Messrs ABC and Company, it shall not be taxed in the hands of ABC and Company. So 10% as well as 20% both has to happen. Second thing is 10 and 20% should be on the date of loan or advance. So at any time during the year this percent may vary. That is not important. You just have to see that if the loan is given on suppose 2nd of Jan 2014, as on that day you have to check whether the shareholding is 10% or not or more, or substantial interest is 20% or more, and if it is fulfilled then 222E shall be attracted. Now as in the other four sections which we did prior to, section 1034 and 115O were also applicable. In this section 1034 and 115O will not be applicable. That it means company does not have to pay dividend distribution tax on this deemed dividend. So whenever a private company gives a loan to its 10% greater or equal to 10% shareholder, this loan amount shall be taxable for the shareholder and not the company. Alright, so obviously section 1034 also is not applicable. So again, just revise. If the closely held company is giving a loan either to the shareholder or to Mr. Y or to a concern in which shareholder has substantial interest, all the three cases it shall be taxable. In the first case, it shall be taxable in the hands of the concern, and in the remaining cases, it shall be taxable in the hands of the shareholder. Now, this reference is from the textbook of Vinod Gupta. Vinod Gupta has specifically said that in this case, case number 3, Messrs ABC and Company shall be taxed, but having referred to other reference book, it is stated that in all the three cases, the shareholder shall be taxed. So I would request you to please refer your practice manuals and accordingly correct yourself and write the answers to this concept.